growing up, this drop saw, my little brother and I, whenever we try and do some projects, my dad didn't have a lot of tools. And growing up, we would despise this drop saw. And then one day I realized actually what a beauty it was. And this drop saw was my late grandfather's, and I have picked it to be around about 1998. So the thing's like over 20 years old. I think it's actually older than me. And I love it and I use it most days. So we're looking at the mighty Bosch GWM10. I've got no idea, if this was the top of the line back then. Bosch Blues, so I would say that it probably was. But I think that my grandfather bought it to actually build the house that I grew up in. So the nostalgic value to it is quite high to me. And so one day I decided I needed a drop saw, and I decided for building this house, and I decided that instead of going out and buying one, which is generally what I would normally do, I was like, oh, Dad's got that old drop saw. I wonder if I can fix it up and that. So all I did was, tune it up, make sure it cut really square, and put some WD-40 all over it. That's my little secret hack if you want to make something look crispy and clean. And I've only had one problem with it. So one day we were cutting, and this, I think it was called an armature. That thing exploded when I was cutting something, and it blew the motor out. And we actually paid about $500 to fix it, which is not far off buying a brand new saw. But to me, the nostalgic value was worth it. That it was my late grandfather's, and he used it to build his house. And this saw is absolutely rock solid. When I took it in, the guy was saying to me, he goes, "Mate, you won't find saws made like this these days." And it is so true. Mate, this thing is just heavy. It's rock solid. It doesn't move when you're cutting stuff. Like a lot of the saws these days, when you're cutting, they got flex in them either way. So when you're using them, they can twist and bend. But mate, you got to be Hercules to twist this thing. And this saw being Bosch, it actually put me onto the Bosch brand, because I thought that if this saw's lasted so long, then surely, this is a good brand, German made. And I have found that's the case. So now I rock Bosch gear. I've got a lot of money invested in their platforms, and mate, I can't go back. It's just, there's not much better, I'm finding, than Bosch for innovation and the tools that they have. But some very simple features. This is annoying about it, is that, see how it catches there when you bring it down? It's not super smooth like those new Bosch saws that have got that axial glide. But she gets the job done, and it's perfectly accurate nearly every single time. Like when I'm cutting and I want consistency of cuts with like 45s and that, it's got your regular indents underneath, like along here that at 45 and 30 and in various different angles. But there's nothing too fancy about it. One thing that does bother me a little bit is that it only bevels one way. It only bevels one certain direction like this. But the other good thing about it, once again, with it being rock solid, is it's just got this one single lever back here, and all you have to do is just push it down like that. Whereas a lot of other saws, when you're reaching behind there and you're twisting and beveling and moving to try and get the thing to stay rock solid, but this thing doesn't move whatsoever. So I'm not hugely a sentimental person, but I really love sentimental things when they add value to your life. And if something is sentimental, like say like a year 12 jersey or something like that, but it doesn't like it just takes up space in your wardrobe, I say take a photo of it and throw it out, because you get just as much value from looking at that photo than you do actually, storing it and it being a pest every time you go to clean out your wardrobe. But something like this that has sentimental value, and you use it and it's useful. I use it in my daily life. There's a few of my other Pops tools that I've got, and it does bring a smile to my face when I use it, and it just reminds me of the memories that I had with him growing up, and the fun that we had. And sometimes he'd help me build projects, and we'd use this saw, and it's I don't know. And to me, that's what makes it valuable. That I did have to fix this machine, but it makes it nearly invaluable that it's got that attached to it. So look, if Bosch wants to send me another drop saw to test and compare against this thing, I'm not sure they could sway me on it, but go ahead, Bosch, send it to me. But I hope you have a blessed day, and yeah, I might do a house update soon, because a lot has happened since my last house update. I think the last update only had me, we had the subfloor on, but we're basically nearly at lockup now. So things are happening. The outside's practically all painted, nearly finished. So it's coming along, and still kicking on. Bless you.